Hi guys, good morning. I'm just going to chuck on, I'm doing a little Instagram live as well at the same time to say hi to people. So I hope everyone's having a happy Saturday. We're going to have a bit of a fun class today. So just finding yourself on your mat, and if you want to listen to the same playlist as me, if you can put a number 2, Jasmine Inspired Brave playlist. And when you're ready, coming into child's pose. So you can either have your toes touching at the back and knees nice and wide and folding forward, or if you feel more comfortable with your knees together, you can also do that. So we'll take a few breaths together to start the day. Taking a big breath in and exhale, release. In today's class, we'll be focusing on Sthira Sukha, which is strength and flexibility, and the balance between the two. So if you're wanting to find a little more flexibility today, you can just allow your shoulders to sink down, your elbows to bend into the floor and relax. If you'd like to find more strength, you can start to TP the fingers up, so making little cupcakes with the hands. Walk the hands forward and activate through the shoulders. So the more that we push into the floor with our fingertips, the more active this will be. Really having that breath, inhale and exhale. Closing the eyes. I like to just move my head gently from side to side. Or allowing yourself to arrive into the practice. Maybe wake up a little bit. Exhale, hands come down to the floor, up onto your elbows, and walk your knees back a little bit so they're stacked under your hips. And we'll have some active or passive puppy poses, depending on how you feel today. If you want to work on your flexibility, the hands go forward and the chest starts to melt down. Option to have forehead on the floor. If you're quite flexible and okay with having your neck in this position, you can actually look up. Alternatively, if you want to work on your strength, we make that cupcake hands and we look between the hands. So this is really active. It's opening through the chest and also really active through the shoulders. Just being mindful if you do have any shoulder problems, this could be a little bit aggressive for your shoulder. Exhale, coming up and looking towards the belly. So we're rounding through the shoulders. If you're in your normal puppy pose, you can come up to this as well. Inhale, look towards between the hands and let the heart sink down. Exhale, looking up, looking down towards the belly. So we're curving through the spine, but staying active if you're choosing the active pose through the fingers. Inhale, gaze towards the hands, lower the chest. Exhale, pushing that floor away, look towards belly, tilt tailbone, and keep active through shoulders. This should start to feel a little intense now, and you'll feel the heat start to build. Inhale, drop the heart, look towards belly. It's okay at any point to take the passive pose when you're just relaxing into the floor. But coming up, you'll have your hands pushing into the floor, but a similar action if you're taking more of the flexibility option. Gently walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, drop the belly, tilt tailbone towards roof, look up. Exhale, push the floor away. Now it is Saturday morning, so you can have a few different movements if you feel you need it. You can have your normal cat-cows, or you can barrel roll the hips, maybe move back and forward, play with tucking the toes and leaning back into the toes. Maybe practicing with having more weight over the wrists. I like to bring my weight over the wrists and then make little circles in one direction and then the other direction. The reason why we do this is we get the wrists used to weight bearing so that through the rest of our practice, they're nice and warm. Really prevents us from having injury. You can turn your fingers around towards to face you, and then tuck your toes at the back and gently lean back. So feeling that really can be quite intense for some people, especially if you're on your computer a lot, but you'll feel a big stretch through the backs of the wrists and the ligaments. Turning the hands around, just being really gentle because that's quite a big stretch. Then hands out to the side. So little circles one way. Let's do two. And then two the other way. The neck can be neutral, just focusing on the breath and that sensation. Last one, the tops of the hands come onto the floor. Now this might feel quite intense already, and if it does, just stay here. If you feel like you have a little more, you can tuck your toes and lean back a little bit. So this is a decompression of the joint in the hands. If you're working on your handstands or any kind of inversions where you're putting a lot of stress onto the wrist, these are really great to practice before and after all of those. Hands back onto the floor. Maybe just give a little shimmy. They might be a little bit sensitive after that big opener of the wrists. We tuck those toes at the back, and then you can start to lift your knees up. So as we lift the knees up, we're not lifting up really high. We're keeping the top really nice and straight. We're tucking the tailbone down and squeezing the glutes. And imagine squeezing your knees together like you have an imaginary block in between your thighs. So you'll start to feel the fire here. If you don't, keep squeezing the glutes, squeezing the thighs like you were squeezing a block between them, and lift the left foot up. Exhale, take it up towards the elbow and down towards the wrist. Up towards elbow and back. Other side, right foot up towards elbow, down towards wrist, up towards elbow and back. Then start to straighten the legs and walk the hands a little bit further forward, coming into your first downward facing dog of the day. So for me, I like to walk out my legs, so I bend one knee and straighten the other leg. If your hamstrings are really tight, you can have a little play with this, just pedaling out the legs. Another option is to come up onto tippy toes, inhale, and exhale, push that floor away. So coming down into the heels. Inhale to rise. Exhale, pushing the heels down. And it's okay if your knees are bent. I'd prefer that your knees are bent like this to get that weight back into the legs than be like this over the shoulders, because this is actually not going to be helpful for your shoulder rotator cuff. So if you need to bend your knees a little bit to get your weight into your legs, that's okay. So just have a think about where your body weight is. If it's more forward, then try to take it back. Take a longer down dog. Walk your hands further forward. Just a little shake of the head, yes and no. Look between the hands. Step the feet between the hands. And inhale to a flat back. Exhale to fold. Let the neck and head be soft. Then inhale, we bend through the knees as we slowly roll up like a wave, tilting the tailbone under, lifting through chest. Inhale, hands up to sky. And exhale, hands to center. Stepping your feet wide so they are about the same width as your hips. Hands to your heart. And take a moment to breathe. I'm just going to turn that down a bit. So we're focusing today on the balance of strength and flexibility. So what that means is that in yoga, yes, we focus on being flexible, but in order to have stability in that joint, we also must focus on strength as well. Because if you're only flexible, you can overstretch and damage ligaments, but if you're too strong, you're not nimble and supple enough to be able to be flexible for everyday life, not only in yoga, but in life in general. So just having a breathe into that space and see in yourself what you need to work on. For me, I need to sometimes find a little release and surrender, working on that flexibility, because strength comes a little more natural. Inhale, hands up, take your choice of what you'll focus on today, and exhale to fold. Inhale to flat back, relax the neck and head, gaze towards floor. Exhale, hands down. Now step back to your high plank. We're going to have a little bit of fun today with our chaturangas, just because I have had some questions about chaturangas recently. So your first option, I recommend dropping your knees down. So what we would like to do here is to imagine that on your back here, you have a glass of champagne. Yes, champagne. And you want to drink it, so you don't want to drop it. So we want to bring the chest forward, and we want to tuck the elbows in towards the body like a tricep push-up, and keep the back very straight. So what I don't want to see is the bum dropping down, so the hips come down first, or the chest comes down first. What we want to do is squeeze the glutes, tilt the tailbone, and everything straight, like a little tabletop. So coming forward, keep the elbows tucked in, squeeze really tight, and slowly lower down. Imagine that champagne, you don't want to drop it. Exhale all the way down. Then inhale to baby cobra. So we're going to lift the hands up if that feels okay. Push the tops of feet into the floor, zip through the legs, so suck them together. Exhale to fold. Tuck the toes. If you want to practice again your reverse chaturangas, just check again that your shoulders are nice and relaxed, so they're not up near your ears. And you also want to check that your wrist and your elbow are actually in one line. This is your chaturanga position. Elbows are tucked in towards the body, as you might be able to lift up. Maybe start with your knees down. Inhale to up dog, and exhale to down dog. Spreading fingers wide, push the thumb and index finger into the floor. Look between hands, step or jump between the hands. Inhale to flat back, and exhale to fold. Bend through the knees as you slowly lift up. It takes the pressure out of the lower back. Inhale, hands through heart center. Rise up, maybe a little gaze up, or the neck can be relaxed. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Bend the knees to allow the lower back to release. Inhale to flat back. And exhale to hands down. Option to step or jump. If you want to jump, bend your knees, get a bit of buoyancy in the legs as you get a bit of height and control to jump back. Now, if you're starting off with yoga, or you've only been doing yoga for a year or so, I recommend staying on your knees for your chaturanga. Otherwise, if you want to come up for this version, we're going to keep that champagne glass on your upper back. So it's sitting here, and you don't want it to fall. So we have to stay straight as we go down. So no dipping of the hips, no dipping of any other part of the body. So it's nice and straight. Chest forward. Bend the elbows, slowly come down, keep it straight, keep it straight. You want to have that champagne glass tonight, all the way down to the ground, straight as possible. Keep squeezing glutes, squeezing core, all the way down. Now check where your arms are. Make sure your shoulders are in line. Sometimes your wrists will be a little bit further forward than your elbows, that's okay. Also depends on people's bodies. But you want to make sure that your shoulders are not up near your ears. This time push into the floor. Come up into upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the glutes. If you feel compression in your back, you've gone a little too much. Or you can push into the floor, squeeze your glutes more, and maybe the thighs lift. It actually helps take compression away from the lower back. Exhale, tuck your toes. Push up and back into your downward facing dog. Look between the hands. Step or jump between the hands. Inhale to flat back, and exhale to fold. Bend through knees as you ripple up, so really taking that rippling action and control, stacking vertebra, hands up to sky. Breath in, and exhale, we fold down. So with the fold, you're hinging from the knees and the hips so that you're not dumping into lower back with straight legs. Inhale to flat back, ripple forward. Exhale, hands to floor. If you want to do that jump, bend your knees, get that buoyancy, get a little bit of height as you jump back. Now, the softer you can jump back, the better. The more noise you make, the less control it means you have. So option to lower the knees on the floor. I really recommend this for most people. If you want to take it to the next level, we're going to come down in our chaturanga, keeping that champagne glass on the upper back, but stop halfway, 90 degrees. For 3, for 2, keep tucking and squeezing, keep it straight for 1, all the way down. Inhale to come up, maybe thighs lift, and exhale to down dog. So when you do your chaturangas, with strength and properly, they're really hard. And when you take them slow, they're even harder. So just being mindful of your technique. If it starts to drop, put your knees on the floor. Look between the hands, maybe a little jump so you can bend the knees. Look between the hands, control the jump forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold. Bend through the knees, slowly roll up. Inhale, hands up through to the roof. And exhale, come down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back to your plank. Choosing your option, knees on floor, full chaturanga. Come down to 90 degrees. Your last option for your chaturanga is to flip onto tops of toes and come straight up. So this is hovering off the floor only if you've been doing yoga for a while and it feels good for shoulders and your back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Place the back foot on the floor and inhale to rise into warrior one. So when you're coming into warrior one, when you put your back foot on the floor, you actually move it so you have space for the hips as you rise up. The hips are square toward the front of the room. The back foot is 60 to 90 degrees, so slightly rotated in to allow your hips to rotate in. Hands up, little smiles. Check your front knee. Sometimes it sneaks back. Want to be bent into that front knee. Exhale, placing the hands on the floor and moving through your flow. So stepping back to high plank. Really good option to have the knees on the floor. Keep that tilt the tailbone really straight through the back. Slowly come down with that champagne glass. And inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. So if you really power through your chaturangas and do them really fast, I want you to slow them down today and come with us. Inhale, lift the left leg up. It's actually a lot harder to take it slow. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Step that foot so you're on train track. Slowly rise up with control. Hands up. And just checking your hips, just twisting them forward a little bit so that they're straight. Sometimes you need to step your feet a little wider. Bend into the front knee. Make sure it's over the ankle. Hands up. Exhale, hands to floor. Step your feet back. Now chaturanga, take it slow. Keep that wine glass on top of your back, whatever option is for you. Inhale to up dog. Now it falls off. And exhale to down dog. What a shame. I hope it wasn't real champagne from France. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, warrior two. So we move the back foot so we have an arch to heel alignment. So gazing towards the front middle finger and checking your knee is in line more towards your pinky toe than your big toe. What that means is that the knee is not falling in, that the femur and the knee is, the femur is straight and the knee is over the ankle. Sink a little deeper. So if you're working on flexibility and you are quite strong, you can come a little deeper into this. If you're naturally flexible and you dump, you want to lift up. So tilting the tailbone, squeezing everything together, squeezing the legs together, magnetizing the legs towards each other, gaze towards front middle finger. So we're not just dropping and hanging out, we're really sucking in and up. You'll start to sweat staying here. And exhale, hands to floor. Move through your flow, choosing your chaturanga of choice, keeping that champagne glass nice and straight. Inhale up. And exhale to down dog. Left leg rises, inhale. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, we rise up. Exhale, warrior two. So again, if you're working on flexibility, you can go a little wider and sink a little deeper. If you're working on your strength, magnetize the feet together, tilt the tailbone down, lift through chest, gaze towards front middle finger. You'll start to shake here as you squeeze the legs together. Everything is active. Exhale, hands down. Step back and move through your flow. So toes, knees can be down if you wish. Inhale to up dog. So just with your up dog, if you can relax the neck, chin to chest, that's great. And exhale to down dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Set up your positioning first. Slowly rise up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, we reach forward, we flip to reverse our warrior. So from here, if you're working on flexibility, something that's quite nice is you can push into that back hip to get a bit more space through the back without compression. You can go a little further. Keep that front knee bent. If you want to have a bind here, you can, if you feel like that's available for you. Exhale, hands towards the front of the room, then coming to the floor. Moving through your flow, option knees down, or full chaturanga, or one-legged chaturanga, also an option. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. Left leg rises, inhale, exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, flip the front hand, reach forward, paint the ceiling, reverse warrior. Relax neck and head, it doesn't need to look up. Get your right hand and traction that right hip down to create more space to lean back even more. Exhale, coming back through your warrior two, gaze to front middle finger, then hands to floor, flowing through. Inhale to rise, and exhale to down dog. Right leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. We speed it up. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Extended side angle, inhale. Now, options here are endless. Your choice, so you choose your own adventure. Option one, if you need to yoga, stay here. If you're working on your flexibility, you can place that bottom hand onto the floor and use your bottom shoulder to actually twist open the stretch. So you're pushing into that knee to open the shoulders up. Again, if you want to work on strength, you can reach forward with one hand. Maybe you reach forward with two hands. This is your strength option. This is your flexibility option, okay? Maybe a forward as well. Hold for one more breath. Lift the toes on the front foot. Exhale, hands to floor. Place the left hand onto the floor, up onto your back toes. Inhale into easy twist. Exhale, hands forward. Step your back foot forward. Fold over the legs. Gently start to rise up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Step or jump back into your downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. Lift left leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale to rise. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reach up and back, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Now, options. Coming down to extended side angle. Option one, stay here. Just making sure that knee is over the top of that ankle. Option two, you can reach to the bottom. Option three, working on strength and flexibility, you can reach forward. Working on strength only, reaching up. So really holding whichever you feel that you need today. Exhale, hands come down to the floor, frame the front foot, come onto your back right toes. Inhale, reach up to easy twist to the left. Exhale, hands down, move through your flow. So knees can come down. Remember your chaturangas, don't get sloppy. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. Looking between your hands, we're gonna have a little jump. So you can bend the knees. We wanna jump our feet on either sides of our hands. So jumping forward. We're coming into a malasana or a yogi squat. So with this one, hands together, we're going to use this as sort of like a vice-like action to push our thighs apart. So you may need to walk your feet a little wider than your hips here. So get them on the inside of your thighs, start to vice them open. Maybe they don't go that far, that's okay. Whatever feels okay for you. If your heels are not on the floor, you can place some books under your heels as well. And just closing your eyes here and listening to your breath and your heart. Maybe it's going a little fast. We have a few options here, strength and flexibility in our theme. So we're going to place our right arm down so that the shoulder's in line with the knee and the left hand comes up. So this is working into your flexibility. Pushing your tailbone towards the roof and trying to open your chest. So it's also a twist. Release the neck and head. If you want to work on a bind, and if they're in your practice, you can reach your hand behind you and maybe bind the hands behind. This will also get into flexibility. If you want to work into strength, you can come with me to baby bird of paradise. We're going to walk that left foot forward because we're going to stand up in the bind. Come up onto the tippy toes of your right foot, bring it in. So you want everything right under your hips because it's going to be weight bearing. So coming more up onto your left foot and squeeze your hands as much as you can and slowly lift up. Working on strength in that left leg. And balance. Hold for a couple of breaths. Wherever you are, just stay where you are. And exhale, we slowly come down. So bend through that left knee as you really control coming down. Coming back into your malasana, hands to heart. Coming out of whichever version that you took. I like to move gently from side to side here because it gets into my hips, which feels quite good for me. Just see if it feels okay for you. So left hand comes down, so shoulder in line with left knee and right arm up. So neck and head is relaxed. So from here, if this feels really nice, you can stay here and just close your eyes and breathe. If you do have your binds and you want to practice that, you can bind behind you, but make sure that top shoulder isn't rolling down. You want it rolling up, so you're really leaning over towards the left. Neck and head is relaxed, so just let the left ear fall towards left shoulder. If you want to work on your strength, you can walk your right foot over, under your hips, because it's going to be holding your weight. Come up onto your tippy toes of the left foot, and then make sure your right heel is down as you start to come up. You always have one side that's a little bit more strong than the other and flexible. So once you're up, just breathe. Maybe have a laugh if you're falling over. Just finding your option for today to come out from your baby bird of paradise. You can bend that leg, control coming down, take it slow. Use that strength. And then coming back into your yogi squat. So with yogi squat, you want the back nice and straight. You don't want to be hunching forward with the glutes lifting too high. You want the glutes towards the floor, squeezing open those hips and flat back straight. Taking a breath. If you went into the strength version, your heart might be racing a little. Coming into a dolphin pose. So we're bringing the knees onto the floor. We're doing like baby dolphin and baby crow next. So we're grabbing our biceps. The reason why we do this is not because we want to just feel our biceps. It's because we actually want to make sure that our shoulders are in the right position. Coming forward, spreading the fingers wide. We'll go into a baby dolphin first. So see how I'm dumping through my back here? This is what we actually want to avoid. It feels quite natural, but I'd like you to tilt the tailbone and protract through the shoulders. So this is what we normally do. We hunch through the shoulders and sink down. It's more of a puppy pose. I want you to tilt the tailbone and push up between the shoulders. Tuck the toes and lift the knees. So this is option one. This is your baby dolphin. If this feels like it's enough, stay here. If you want to start to straighten your legs, this is your second option. Third option is you walk your feet closer towards your arms so that your shoulders are taking more of the weight. So just gaze towards your belly so your neck is relaxed in either option. Now, if you want to take it a little further, we've got 10 breaths here. So for 5 breaths, you can reach one leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side, left leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down and relaxing neck and head forward into the mat. So just breathing here for a moment. Finding my breath. Pushing into the hands and slowly coming up. We're coming into baby crow. So if you have your crow, you can do that. Otherwise, if you want to practice baby crow, you can come with me. Grab your biceps, hands forward. So almost like the same as our baby dolphin. Again, watching that back, so pushing through shoulder blades, lifting the toes up. You're going to walk the knees right up to your armpits, so here. So have your toes on the floor. You want to squeeze your knees into your elbows, into your armpits as much as you can, and then lean forward a lot. Just stay here for a while. If you feel like you want to lift your feet, you can. So as you get stronger, you'll be able to come higher off the floor. So just having a little practice and a play. Luckily, it's not too far to fall over. So if you do fall over, just maybe you can put a pillow in front of your face if you want. Having a little play, leaning forward is really key here. So trusting that your strength of squeezing is going to be more than falling forward. So also your hands really wide is going to be your brakes. So the wider your hands are, it means that you're not going to fall forward. So have one more little play, and when you're done, you can stand up, grab your elbows, and fold over your legs. A gentle rock from side to side. And just be mindful of neck and head. Is it relaxed? Let your hands be heavy and slowly roll up, coming to standing position. Hands come up through center, reach up towards the sky. And exhale, we fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back into high plank. So again, your chaturanga, just check out if your glutes are high, that champagne glass is going to fall. So keep it down, squeeze the glutes, tilt tailbone, take your option, come forward. Imagine that tricep push up, and then inhale coming into your up dog, whichever option feels good for you today. And exhale to down dog. Lifting the right leg up, and exhale knee to nose. Inhale back up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. And then straighten the leg underneath you. Open up to fallen triangle. So staying here. Now, if you want to work on strength, you can actually lift that bottom foot up. You can also, in flexibility, extend the leg out. Hold for one more breath. Exhale, coming back to three-legged dog when you're done. Exhale, sweep the foot between the hands. Inhale to rise up. So we're in our crescent lunge. Exhale to lengthen through chest. Inhale to lengthen through chest, and exhale to twist. So from here, the hands are in the center of the heart, and we're really twisting the chest open. Neck and head can be relaxed. If you want to work more on your chest opener, you can open up the arms. Maybe there's a bind, but no pressure. And then exhale, opening up into your warrior two. So here we're just checking that our knees over our front ankle, gaze towards the top middle finger. Exhale, extended side angle, option one. Option two, for flexibility, hand comes down to the floor. If you have your bind, top hand comes behind you, bottom arm behind you. So what's really common is this, hunching forward in your bind is actually really not good for you, so you should avoid it if you can't open your shoulder. So if your shoulders are open, then it's okay to come into a bind. If you're hunching forward and really crunching, it's probably not a good idea. Just take it easy and work on a half bind first. So that top shoulder coming behind and grabbing the top thigh and opening the shoulders first. If you are in your bind and you have your bird of paradise, you can come into that. Or a challenge, which is harder, is half bound moon. So we're going to lift that back leg. So and see if you can come up onto your front leg in the bind. I haven't got this today. It's just a really challenging one. If you're used to your bird of paradise, just have a little play. If you fall out like me, just have a laugh. And when you're ready and had enough, coming into a low lunge and stepping your back foot back and choosing your chaturanga of choice. Maybe it's your knees. Be gentle to yourself. Inhale to up dog and exhale to down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to rise. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale to rise. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale to rise. You know what's coming, maybe. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Straighten the leg underneath you. Rise up, fallen triangle. Now, you can stay here, coming onto your elbow if your wrist hurts. If you want strength, lift that bottom foot. Strength and flexibility, grab the outside of the foot and extend for bind. One more breath wherever you are. Exhale, moving back through, three-legged dog. Take a breath in and exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale to rise up. Crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. So hooking that elbow around the outside of the thigh, hands come together, pushing together. You can also make a fist if this hurts your wrists. And just allow the neck and head to release. Coming into an open chest if you want to take it a little further, that twist. Bind also available, just if your shoulders are happy. Exhale, and then inhale to rise up, warrior two. So from here, taking your extended side angle. So your option one is just to rest on your thigh and focus on opening and lifting, getting length through top arm. Flexibility, bottom hand comes to the floor. Take a breath. Exhale, if you want to work a little bit more here, you can. Otherwise, if you're coming into your bind, make sure that top shoulder's rolled open. Half bind is really good to start. Full bind, hands clasped behind you. Get that top shoulder open. If you're here and you want your bird of paradise, which is stepping the back foot forward, you can do that. If you want an extra challenge, you can come up onto your tippy toes. Otherwise, stay exactly where you are. So you're trying to lift that back leg up. It's always one side that's easier. Just a little challenge, because bird of paradise, after you do it a while, it gets easier. And gently coming back down or thumping back down, hands to the floor, coming into a deep lunge, catching your breath, and then moving through your flow. So stepping back, choosing your option. If you're feeling like you would need a more restful chaturanga, that's okay. Inhale to up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Now we start to get into those hips. So we bend the knee and open the hip, bringing that right foot towards right glute. Now, shoulders are evened out, so you don't want any twisting in the shoulders and the hips. Hips are even, shoulders are even. You want that right foot as close as you can towards the glute and lift the knee up. So we're really getting into the hip flexors and also the hamstring of the left leg. Exhale, sweeping it between the hands, placing the foot on the floor, lowering the back knee. So I personally like to pad up my back knee because my knees are sensitive. So I have a little pad here. You can use a jumper or a pillow there. If your knees are happy, you don't have to do that, but I prefer it. So if you're working on flexibility and you are quite stiff, you can let your hips sink a little bit here. If you're quite flexy and this is easy for you, your challenge is to suck in and up and squeeze everything together to work on that strength. Bringing your hands on top, interlaced, you're on top of your thigh, not your knee. Push down on your thigh and then bring your hip forward. But also trying to turn that left hip so it's also even. Because if you're pulling that left hip and you're just opening up, you're not actually stretching through your hip flexor on the left side. So you want to keep the integrity of the stretch so hips are straight as you're coming forward. If you're very tight, you'll really start to feel this. If this feels really easy, instead of that, I want you to come out a little bit and squeeze everything together and lift. So strength. So pushing into your back heel and pulling it in towards your body and also squeezing your back knee in towards the front foot. Hands onto the floor, coming into arrow lunge. So I like to move my back foot a little bit in for this one. As we lift up, your hands can stay interlaced on your quad. Push into your back foot and just lift your knee off just a little bit. Really strong through the left side. Push down through your right heel, hands up. Maybe if this is not starting to burn, then you need to come lower. For one, then hands down, then lower the knee. Exhale to half splits. So I sometimes move my foot a little further forward and then sit back. Again, check your hips. So mine are really twisted, which means I'm not actually balancing the twist. So I'm going to even my hips out so they're straight and not twisting one way, and then fold forward. So chest open. We don't want to hunch forward and curl. We want the chest to be open and fold so the chest comes close to thigh. Neutral neck, so gaze towards floor. Inhale, we come into our low lunge again. Walking the right foot over towards the right a little more. lizard pose. So we just allow ourselves to sink a little here. Now, you can come into a lower version of this onto your elbows, if that feels okay. If you're not able to, if you have blocks, they work, or pillows, or anything that you have at home that can prop you up and allow you to just relax and stay here a little longer. So just, again, elongating through the neck. So chin comes gently towards the chest. And choosing your option that feels that you're playing at your edge, but also not pushing yourself too hard. Coming up onto the hands, walking the right, I'll do it this way so you can see me. Walking the right foot over to the side of your mat, even more, coming out onto the blade side of the right foot. Left hand is into the floor and placing the hand on the thigh, not the knee. So the thigh, as we sort of rotate the hip open, bend through that supporting arm so we're not really jolting through the joints, and gaze up or relax neck. Now keep that bend through the left elbow so there's strength and we're not just stacking that can damage the joints. Grab your right, if your right hand can reach behind you, if you want to take it further and you are okay with back bends and also quad flexibility, you can grab the back foot and bring it in towards the glutes. If you want to take it even further, there's an option to come down to floor onto elbows. Relax neck and head wherever you are. Hold for one more breath. Keep that bend in that left supporting arm. Exhale slowly, let that back foot come out if you had it. Walk your right foot over, coming into half pigeon. So half pigeon, you can also take figure 4 on your back if your knees are a bit sensitive. So with our half pigeon, remove the padding if you had it. You want to look behind you, walk your back foot straight so that your foot is not doing any weird twists. And make sure that your glutes are coming towards the ground, even. If they're not, placing a pillow under the right glute to bring your hips a bit higher to keep your hips balanced. If you're sinking onto one side, you're also not getting into an even stretch. So walking your hands forward and slowly coming down. Having the block there will also protect your knee by not putting too much pressure on the knee. If you do want to take figure 4, you can come onto your back. Very similar posture. So the right foot is on top of the left knee and you just reach through and grab the back of your hamstring or your shin. That one's just a little bit less pressure on the knee. And coming down, relaxing neck and head, feeling the softness of this pose. Coming back to that theme of strength and flexibility. Sometimes it's a fight to stay strong, but also there's a strength in releasing and relaxing. So seeing if in this pose you can find that flexibility, that softness. Gently walking the hands up, removing that block that's underneath you. And I like to come onto my right glute and slowly help my left leg around because it's quite a deep stretch. So sometimes it feels good to do it nice and slow. Right foot is on the inside of the left leg for a half fold forward, removing any extra padding from under the glutes. So you're on your sit bones, reach high through chest, elongate, telescope through ribs, twist towards left and fold. So trying to get length here rather than rounding through the chest and upper back. So neutral neck, chin towards chest, reaching through the spine so they're nice and straight. And then if your chest starts to rest on your quad, you can start to fold a little further. But you really don't want to lose that integrity through stretching through the back as well, not just putting all the pressure into the hamstrings. I actually have a slight bend in my front knee because I'm really tight through hamstrings, so please feel free to go there if you need it. I'm not sure I'm not sure who's online today. I should have checked. Hey guys, I think this is one of Craig's favorites. Chin to chest, elongate through neck. Exhale, we slowly walk the hands up. The right foot comes over the top of the leg, left arm hooks around, and we twist for Lord of the Fish. Bind is also an option, so interlacing the hand through the little hole in between the legs and binding the hands, opening the chest. Just an option, not necessary. I keep my left leg flexed to keep active through the leg. Exhale, coming back to center, both hands towards the left, lower chest towards floor. Inhale to rise up. Placing hands behind you, both feet flat onto the floor, lifting up for reverse tabletop. So tilting the tailbone down, squeezing glutes, chin to chest. Maybe the head falls back. Roots to floor, cross the legs over. Our favorite little jump through that I do almost every week. You can have a play if you want. Otherwise, just come back into plank. So you want that buoyancy in those feet to get a little bit of height to give you time to jump back. Choosing your chaturanga option, knees to floor, is fine, but stay straight. Tilt tailbone, no sinking in either direction. It's coming forward and down. Tricep push-up. Inhale to up dog. Roll shoulders back, squeeze glutes. And exhale to down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Lower that right knee down, maybe patting up the knee. So here, just get first comfortable in a low lunge. Now, I really like to, because I'm quite strong rather than flexible, I allow to let myself sink into the pose first and feel the stretch. But if you are really bendy, your challenge is to suck in and up and to lift a little higher, pushing into that heel and sucking it back towards the body. The reason we do this is to keep stable joints, because too much flexibility is actually very dangerous and you can injure yourself. So coming up a little onto tips of fingers, interlacing the fingers and pushing into the thigh, we pull that left thigh forward so we come deeper into the hips. But just check your hips and make sure they're straight. So if your right hip is going back, I want your right hip to come forward so it's even as you come forward. Pushing even more into that front quad will also make sure that your back is straight. If you feel a pinching or a twinging in your back, come out a little bit, because this is also a back bend. Aero lunge, bring hands to floor. I sometimes bring my right foot in a little bit. Make sure you're pushing through the top of that back foot. Inhale, come back up. And then another exhale, we rise up. So we just raise that knee just a little bit off the floor, pushing through the left heel, squeezing everything together. This is pure strength. Hands up for one more breath. Exhale, hands down first, then the back leg. And then exhale into your half splits. So again, checking the hips, are they straight? Maybe you need to make some adjustments. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Chin to chest, neutral neck. Oh, there's a lovely sound of rain on the roof at the moment. Don't know if you can hear it, but it's quite nice. Gently start to come back into your low lunge. Lizard pose on the left. So hands come on the inside of the foot. Walk the foot over towards the left. Maybe this is it for you today. This feels enough. Stay here. If you can and you feel like you want to, coming onto your elbows, I like to interlace my hands and push into the floor to give me a little bit of stability. Now, if you want to use blocks or pillows or books or anything you have, that's absolutely great. Just placing them down in a place where you can put your elbows on them, and just takes a bit of pressure off going so deep that you can get a bit more of that release. Taking another breath here. Coming up onto your hands and walking your foot right over to the side of the left side of the mat, coming onto the blade edge of the left foot. Left hand comes on the inner thigh, not the knee, rotates the hip open. And again, checking that you have a little micro bend in that right arm, and neck and head releases towards the right shoulder. This is a pretty deep opener already. If you want to take it further, left hand comes behind you to grab the right foot. This will feel deep. If you do want to come a little lower, you can actually come onto your elbow on the right. That's the deepest version. Just take whichever version feels good for you. If you're hunching forward, roll that top shoulder open because it's also a twist. Again, checking that micro bend in the right arm. It always wants to sneak straight and take away that strength. Exhale, let that back foot gently come down. Walking left foot over towards the right for your pigeon pose. So sinking into glutes, taking away any padding that was there. Making sure your hips are even. If you're just falling into your left glute, then you need a block underneath your glute. So placing a block there or a pillow so it's even. Again, even hips is what we're looking for, so the stretch is even and our body is even. Right foot walks back and then start to come down. Also keeping that integrity in this stretch will also make it more challenging. Falling over to one side makes it feel quite easy. Maybe you place a block or a pillow under the head. If you're not able to come the full way down, and that's okay. And here working on finding that flexibility, the softness, the release. And like in life, if we're too rigid and too strong, we never really let anybody in. We never really find the softness and the slight joys of life through finding ease and release. Great thing about yoga is there's a lot of things also you learn about yourself in life, because who you are on the mat is often who you are off the mat as well. Pushing and striving, maybe that's you. Or maybe you're taking the easy option, and maybe that's you too. It's just something to observe. Gently coming up onto your hands and walking your hands forward. Removing any blocks if you had it. And coming onto your left glute this time, helping your back leg around nice and slow. It's quite a deep stretch. Removing the padding from your glutes, reach up and fold forward. I always have much more trouble on this side, so you just observe if you have one side that's a bit more bendy than the other. Chin towards chest, and we do that because it allows our neck to relax and not have compression in the upper spine. Shoulders back and down, bend the elbows and slowly start to inhale to lengthen through chest and exhale to fold. Walking the fingers up very gently, coming out of your stretch. Left leg goes over the top of the right. Right hand hooks around. Really elongate through chest. So we don't want to hunch. We want to open the shoulders and hook and twist as we exhale. Again, chin to chest, neutral neck. You don't need to look back or up or do anything crazy. Just let it relax. Maybe there's a bind reaching through that leg, coming behind you. Not necessary, just an option if you want to play with something different. Keep that right foot a flex towards the shin to keep the strength through the leg. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, hands onto the right, lower chest gently to floor. Inhale, back up. Both feet flat on the floor. Reverse tabletop or full expression. The legs are straight as we lift the glutes up and the hips up. Maybe head falls back, just only for one breath here. Exhale, glutes come to floor, cross the legs, and then have the legs up. So we're coming into our Navasana or boat pose. Open the chest, and we're going to stay here. Now the options are straighten the legs, which is going to make it a little harder, or bend the knees, makes it easier with the shins parallel to floor. So we're going to come down just 1/3 of the way down. So point through toes at this point. And then come down halfway and hold. So if your back starts to hurt, you can come down. You don't have to hold it. But if your back feels fine, come down almost flat to the floor. So your lower back's on the floor now, and you're pushing through the toes, opening through the chest. And exhale all the way down. Bring your knees in towards your body so you can tickle the backs of your heels. Coming into a bridge pose. So your feet are hip width apart. Tickle the backs of your heels. Squeeze your glutes as you lift your hips up. Interlace fingers underneath the body. Roll your shoulders under. Push more into the floor to lift the hips up. Squeeze your quads together so your knees are not coming together, but you're having that sensation of strength. Push even more through heels. Squeeze the hips of the quads. For 3, for 2, for 1, and slowly coming down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Feet go on either side of the mat as we windscreen wipe the legs from side to side. Bridge again, option for leg raises. So if you want to take that option, come with me. Otherwise, come into a normal bridge. So tickle the backs of your heels, lift up, squeeze glutes, squeeze quads, hands underneath the back, rolling shoulders under. If you want to come with me, we have 10 breaths. We're walking the right foot to the center of the body, lifting the left leg straight is option 1, or up is option 2. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Bringing that foot down. Don't come down yet. Left foot to center of body, right foot up. So option 1 is here. Option 2 is here. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Lowering the foot down, slowly coming down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Windscreen wipe the legs from side to side. Stretch your legs out and bringing your right knee in towards the chest. Interlace fingers around the shin. And exhale into your supine twist. So with this, we want to keep both shoulders on the floor. If one is coming up, then just come out a little bit. You can come out by bringing that foot closer to the body and just allowing the twist to be less deep. If you want it deeper, you can straighten that leg, the top leg. Inhale back to center. Coming onto your back and reaching your legs towards the back of the room. Bringing your left knee in towards the chest, interlace fingers around the shin. Pull your left knee up towards your upper arms and exhale the knee over the top of the body to the other side. Again, keeping shoulders on the floor to feel that twist through the spine here. If you want to feel more, you can straighten that top leg. Gently coming back to center. And taking any last stretch to neutralize the spine. So maybe you take one more bridge to rise up and slowly lower upper back to middle back to floor. Maybe you take a happy baby, grabbing the outsides of the legs and knees in towards the armpits. If you're in your happy baby, pull down on your feet, flatten your feet towards the roof, but push your lower back into the floor. So with this one, the great point of this is to neutralize the spine. So if we're hunching through back, it's actually not going to straighten and release the back. So have a little play here with straightening the spine. Gently coming down into your final resting posture, your Shavasana. Making sure that there's nothing touching you, maybe having the feet wide, the hands wide. And take a big breath in together. And exhale, release. Inhale, we're going to squeeze everything tight from hands to feet to glutes to quads to face to abs. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale, let it flop down. One more time, squeeze everything you can. Tight, tight, tighter, just a little tighter. And exhale, release. And now allow allowing yourself to be totally soft. Deepening the breath. Maybe starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe the head rocks gently from side to side and licking the lips. You're welcome to stay as you are and have a little longer in Savasana. Or if you would wish to come with me, you can stretch your hands up over your head and reach your toes away from the fingers for elongation of the spine. Exhale, bring the knees towards the chest and give yourself a big hug. Maybe it feels good to rock gently from side to side and massage the sacrum. Keeping eyes closed, rolling onto favorite side, so using the upper arm as a pillow on either side that you roll. Keeping eyes closed and gently helping yourself up to a comfortable seated position. The hands can be resting on the knees, rolling shoulders back and down to straighten through the spine. Chin gently draws towards the chest as we take a big breath in together. And exhale, release. Bringing hands to heart center and really looking at your life today to see if you have that balance of strength and flexibility, of hard and soft. Maybe during this time you need to be a little softer with yourself and finding that flexibility to get you through this challenging time. I know for me, I'll be working on my flexibility and softness and release and kindness. So seeing if that translates into your life today and see if you can follow that thread through the rest of your day, trying to find that balance through your life. Hands to your third eye or between your eyebrows. And exhale, bowing down first to yourself for your practice, but then bowing down to all the virtual people online for their practice and their energy, because without you all, the class would not be the same. And I just love teaching you guys, and I hope you've really enjoyed the class. And I will see you guys soon. I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. Oh, yay. So Craig's online. Joe, hi guys. Russell, awesome. Come on to Zoom next time so I can chat to you. Love you guys. Bye.